George Carlin's birthday is the same day that this video is being uploaded. A bonus video was earlier today, that being the 13-minute one. So, this is the bonus video. George Carlin's Napalm and Silly Putty, the news segments. The morning news. London police fired warning shots over the heads of rioters today. Unfortunately, they killed 6 members of the royal family watching from a balcony. A Wisconsin woman claims that last month she was taken aboard a spaceship where aliens cleaned her teeth, fitted her with a diaphragm, gave her a Valium prescription good for 3 refills. She also claims that while aboard the ship she was introduced to Richard Simmons, who I do not know who that is. Probably am a bit young for that. A spokesman for the Vatican announced today that in Rome, a statue of St. Peter has come to life and is passing along fishing tips and veal recipes. The California Humane Society has filed a criminal complaint against a man they say is keeping tropical fish in a moving blender. The man admits it is true, but says he's never turned the blender above mix. The Humane Society claims he's had it up to whip and puree several times. John Barrow, a Vermont man, is suing his minister for religious malpractice. He claims the minister wrongfully included him in a prayer being said to shrink the size of another man's brain tumor. Although the cancer patient has completely recovered, Barrow says his own head is now the size of a walnut. Here we go. First Florida headline. This is gonna sound real. A Florida man who wrestles alligators for a living was eaten alive today when the alligator apparently did not understand the universal signal for, quote-unquote, time out, end quote. Amtrak officials have announced that as of the 1st of July, all passenger services will be discontinued, except for a single passenger train that will only operate in an eastbound direction. Chief Justice William Rehnquist had an embarrassing moment in the court last week. During an oral argument, the Chief Justice farted quite loudly. Recovering quickly and displaying his vaunted wit, Rehnquist said, "One more outburst like that and I'll clear the court." Loch Ness Monster Service today in a clear Scottish accent, she asked, "Do I have any messages?" A Kentucky man has been arrested for making an unauthorized deposit at a sperm bank. The U.S. Army has announced that although it is true they performed mind-destroying drug tests on hundreds of soldiers in the 1960s, none of the victims has been promoted beyond the rank of lieutenant colonel. An Ohio man whose library book was 14 years overdue has taken his own life rather than paying the huge fine. Asked how such a thing could happen, his wife said, "I don't know. We looked and we simply couldn't find it." I don't know why I'm laughing. That is probably something that probably has or will happen someday in the state of this world. But and finally, for the morning news, here's one for the Guinness Book of World Records. A Baltimore man has recently broken a long-time mental record when a 44-year-long thought he was having came to an end. When asked what he had been thinking about, he said he couldn't remember, but it would probably come back to him. He added that it quite possibly had something to do with his hat. The noontime news. In Rome today, Pope John Paul removed his little hat and revealed he has a small map of Tombstone, Arizona tattooed on his head. Out at the lake and city park, police have arrested a one-armed man who is bothering other boaters by continuously rowing in a circle. Authorities say a severely disturbed geography teacher has shot and killed 6 people who did not know the capital of Scotland. He is still at large, and they remind everyone that the capital of Scotland is Edinburgh. A man at a tool and die company died today when he was hit with a tool. That could have completely different meanings, depending on what kind of a mind you have. I think you can tell which one I have. The Detroit company is suing Campbell Soups, claiming a bowl of alphabet soup spelled out an obscene message to their children. They state that at first the little letters flow around in a circle, then they form the word "suck my noodle." Damn it. Billionaire clothing executive Dacron Polyester died in his sleep yesterday. It was not a peaceful death, however, as he dozed off while hang gliding. A large dog exploded on a downtown street corner this morning. No one was killed, however, several people were overcome by fur. Police estimate that more than 600 fleas also lost their lives in the blast. A woman in Montana was severely injured yesterday when she attempted to force breastfeed a wolverine. A man wearing a "Have a Nice Day" button was killed by a man who works at night. The Centers for Disease Control has determined that the common cold is caused by a tall man who carries around a bag of germs. 26 people are killed this morning when two funeral processions collided. Police say the list of fatalities does not include the 2 people that were already dead. Mafia has killed an information clerk because he knew too much. His replacement appointed today says he has no further information. In San Francisco, a baby has been born wearing sunglasses and holding a small can of peas. A Milwaukee man has been arrested for the illegal use of food stamps. He was taken into custody while attempting to mail a bowl of joy to his sister. The Bureau of Indian Affairs has announced that they have located another Mohican. Accordingly, all the books are being recalled and will be changed to read "The Next to the Last of the Mohicans." And finally, here's a Halloween prank that backfired. It seemed that great little 13-year-old Danny Amblagots thought it would be a great fun to soap the windows of all the cars on the street. He had soaped 7 of them, and was starting to soap the 8th, not knowing that the owner of the car, Earl Fletcher, was seated inside. Fletcher shot Danny in the head 4 times. I should not be laughing at that. I know it's fictional, but yeah, this world sucks. The evening news. Police in Maine announced today that they have broken up a ring of amphetamine users. 6 of the speed freaks were arrested on the spot. Another 4 got away by sprinting completely across Canada. It has been disclosed that several years ago, when Mother Teresa won the Nobel Peace Prize, she returned the money, claiming it had germs in it. A man who was attempting to walk around the world drowned today on the first leg of his journey, which would have taken him from San Francisco to Honolulu. Another Florida headline. Let's see how real this one is. Let's be honest, all the Florida headlines are going to be realistic. The owner of a Florida massage parlor has been arrested by the police. There weren't any serious violations, said the officers. She just rubbed us the wrong way. Understandable, I guess. Doctors treating a 90-year-old pregnant woman claim that because of her advanced age, she will have a grown-up. A Boston man who last year shot and killed all 12 members of a jury that convicted him of murder goes on trial again today. Courtroom insiders say jury selection is expected to take quite some time. Silent film star Mark Dunbar died today in Hollywood. He had no last words. However, he did wiggle his eyebrows and make several exaggerated gestures with his arms. A Cincinnati man has revealed that last month, a local hospital, instead of giving him a vasectomy, castrated him. The hospital spokesman explained it all started as a joke. The doctors pretended they were going to castrate him. Then he got real snotty, so they went ahead and did it to teach him a lesson. Patient, though upset, seemed philosophical. The way I look at it, it's that much less to wash. Okay, a New Hampshire inventor has developed a machine that claims will grant him any wish. Reporters were greeted at his home by hundreds of naked women who said they had been screwing him for the past 6 months. A 65-year-old fitness expert trotting backwards from Winnipeg to Chile in an effort to promote backward trotting was killed today when she was hit by a truck head-on from the rear. I can understand the backwards walking part, like, it is seriously cool to do that. And finally, on the lighter side, here's a human interest story about man and best friend. It seems 65-year-old James Driscoll was asleep in his downtown hotel room last week when he was awakened by the sound of a dog barking. When he awoke, the room was full of smoke. and he could not see to get out. The dog led him out of the room, down the hall, and into an elevator shaft, where he plunged 8 stories to his death. It seems it wasn't his dog. The late night news. The Supreme Court has reversed a lower court ruling which had let stand a circuit court decision allowing an injunction that restrained a defendant from contesting a court order, forcing him to show cause why he should not be enjoined from suing his lawyer. A government witness who has been demanding 24-hour protection today was given a roll-on deodorant. A woman who left her 2-year-old son at the daycare center yesterday morning says that when she returned to pick him up in the afternoon, he was completely grown. Daycare officials are crediting the hot lunch program. Here are the results of the blind person's golf tournament. I have actually uploaded the original animated clip of this on my channel before, but just for the heck of it, I'm going to actually read it out this time. Here are the results of the blind person's golf tournament. The winner was Johnny Dowling with 2,829 strokes, just enough to beat Larry Powell, who lost any chance he may have had when he took a 612 on the final hole, including 115 separate hits. A priest who has performed over 300 exorcisms was eaten today by a green boogeyman. 21 patrons of a Miami bar suffered numerous gunshot wounds to their feet and ankles as 2 armed dwarfs ran amok in the downtown tavern. Police say the 2 tiny men entered the bar riding a horsey back, and things got out of hand when one on the bottom began to get drunk. In addition, the many foot wounds, extensive damage to the baseboards and electrical outlets was also reported. No meaning to mock any of those that any actual dwarves out there. I just find the headline funny. No offense. Mary Pierce, a woman who claims she was filled with great love for everyone in the world, was killed today by a man who says he did not know that. An unregistered nurse in Phoenix has been arrested for sending obscene get-well cards. I don't even know what those would look like, and I'm not sure if I even want to know. In a bizarre accident, a man who looks like Dean Martin ran over and killed a man who resembles Jerry Lewis. Police spokesman Dave Brewster, who looks like Sammy Davis Jr., said they can find no significance. The International Sword Swallowing Championship were held in Sweden yesterday. The judges say the level of competition was especially fierce this year, and they will announce winners as soon as they are able to remove them from the platform. Hollywood film star Vicky Lick and her husband Mark Stein have called it quits after a 17-minute honeymoon in a pew in the back of the church. Finally, on the lighter side of things, Guinness Book of World Records announced today that Harold Twirlfine of Boston has amassed the world's largest collection of chocolate pudding. Twirlfine, a carnival organist, has over 6,000 separate servings on display in his living room. He says that on many of the older servings, an almost impenetrable amount of skin has now formed, and in some cases the pudding has pulled completely away from the side of the dish. This has caused the formation of huge crevices where Twirlfine now stores part of his award-winning collection of raisinets. But Twirlfine's feat is nothing compared to the largest mass of Jell-O in the world. That title belongs to the good citizens of Lemon Line, Minnesota, who last year poured 200,000 boxes of Jell-O powder into the lake. Most of the locals are happy with the results. However, some people diving in the lake shallow end have injured their heads on large pieces of fruit cocktail.